Hello and welcome. We start with updates from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Despite growing international pressure, the DRC has refused to engage in direct talks with the M23 rebel group that has made major advances in the country's east in recent months, killing over 8,000 people. The DRC says it instead wants to negotiate with neighboring Rwanda, which it accuses of backing the rebel group. The DRC's condition of direct talks with Rwanda resulted in a deadlock on the Angola-brokered peace talks last December. Since then, the rebel group has swiftly advanced and captured key cities in the DRC. Rwanda has neither confirmed nor denied the presence of its troops in DRC, but it has acknowledged taking measures to defend its territory. Both neighbors accuse each other of backing rival ethnic militia. The DRC accuses Rwanda of backing the ethnic Tutsi M23 rebels, while Kigali accuses Kinshasa of harboring and working with the militant group. The Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, or the FDLR, whose members include fighters from the 1994 Rwandan genocide. During the Rwandan genocide, about 1 million people, the vast majority of the Tutsi community, were slaughtered by ethnic Hutu extremists. The genocide ended with the advance of a force of Tutsi-led rebels, commanded by Paul Kagame, who is now Rwanda's president. After 30 years of conflict, one of the Hutu groups, the FDLR, which includes some of those responsible for the Rwandan genocide, is still active in eastern DRC. Rwanda accuses the Congolese authorities of working with the FDLR, and these are accusations which it denies. However, during the ongoing violence, Rwanda-backed rebels have come up with video to back its claims. The video shows the M23 rebels capturing 20 fighters from the FDLR and handing them over to Rwanda at a border post between the two countries. But the DRC military has called the video fake. It says Rwanda had taken old FDLR prisoners and dressed them in new military uniforms to claim they had been newly captured in Goma. Kinshasa calls it a move to discredit its army and a strategy to justify the invasion of parts of the DRC's territory. Apart from ethnicity, Kinshasa points out another root of the conflict. It says rather than seeking to defend Tutsis, Rwanda, with the help of the M23, is primarily seeking to exploit the eastern DRC's vast mineral wealth. It accuses M23 of smuggling key minerals from the DRC to Rwanda, where they enter global supply chains. The M23 rebels have seized key areas in the DRC's mineral-rich east, including the regional capitals of Goma and Bukavu. Last week in Bukavu, gunfire and explosions ripped through the first rally that was held by rebels, and this resulted in multiple deaths and injuries. Both rebels and the DRC government accuse each other of the attack. Now, the conflict has already drawn several other regional nations whose troops are deployed in the DRC to maintain peace. Apart from peacekeeping missions, neighboring Uganda and Burundi have deployed troops to stop the conflict from spilling over to their territories. In the latest, the Ugandan army says its troops have captured Mahagi town in the DRC's Ituri district, which borders Uganda. And last month it announced its troops have taken control of the provincial capital of Bunia. Now, Ituri is just north of the provinces of North and South Kivu, whose capitals have fallen under the control of the M23 group. Analysts fear that Uganda and Rwanda's growing presence in the eastern DRC could lead to another war, like the Second Congo War, which lasted from 1998 to 2003, involving many African countries and resulted in millions of deaths from violence, disease and famine. Will there be a repeat of the deadly Congo Wars? For more on this, we have with us Ms. Lileti Maluleke, a security expert who is joining us live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, despite the mounting international pressure, what are the key reasons behind the DRC's firm stance against holding direct talks with the M23 rebel group? What alternatives are being considered to de-escalate the situation?
Well, one of the reasons that the DRC perceives the M23 is that it sees it as a threat, and that's why it doesn't want to have direct talks or contact with it. A communication with the M23 would automatically mean that they are recognizing the group's legitimacy, and this is a threat to the DRC's sovereignty and national security. And because of the alleged relationship as well between Rwanda and the M23, a negotiation between the M23 will be viewed as negotiating with rather an external interference in a country's domestic affairs. We have seen the DRC engage in numerous peace talks and peace deals. However, these have failed in the past. And these have also left the DRC government very skeptical about the effectiveness of such negotiations. However, we do need such peace deals to happen again, and this cannot happen without a ceasefire. So the first step that is very necessary at this stage is a ceasefire agreement between all parties that are involved in this.
Yeah.
And this will be required throughout the whole negotiations. We do need to see real pressure from all our mediators, from all actors that are involved in these attacks, whether this is pressure through diplomatic or economic measures, but we do need to see real pressure coming through.
Right. And the DRC army has accused Rwanda of dressing prisoners in military uniforms to portray them as captured rebels linked to the Rwandan genocide. How credible are these accusations, and what impact could they have on the already strained relations between the two countries?
I mean, we haven't really seen independent confirmation of this, whether from the international community or local journalists within the DRC. However, in the past, both the DRC and Rwanda have accused each other of fabricating events to justify their military actions or to even shift blame. However, these accusations, I mean, if proven to be true, could significantly worsen the already fragile relationship between Rwanda and the DRC. And if they are credible and, it emerges that these claims are actually true, Rwanda should face even stronger international condemnation, whether this is through the sanctions of their political leaders or the country itself. There should be more stronger international condemnation over this issue.
Right. And with the M23's continued advances in Eastern DRC and the growing involvement of regional actors, as you've mentioned, what role can the African Union and international mediators play in preventing further escalation of this conflict?
The AU has a very big role to play. We have seen it back decisions stemming from peace efforts, and it has also collaborated with regional initiatives and will continue to do so. However, there is a need for a more direct involvement and an AU strategy that limits competition, for influence from among the regional groups and among the member states. We need to see mediators also taking very strong stances against the aggressors themselves and against the actors that are involved in the humanitarian actions that we're seeing. We need to call out actors that are actually not doing what they're supposed to do. We need to also make sure that SADC is also very much involved in the regional initiatives as well. We need to make sure that the East African community is also very vocal in this crisis. So what we need is more also of a political alignment and political will from our leaders and the regional initiatives that we have across Africa.
Leleti, thank you very much for being with us on Firstpost Africa and for your valued insights and analysis.
Thank you for having me.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs. And that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.